I don't know.
what?
Yeah.
Just what do you mean you don't know? I go, I don't know. I really
I'll
don't.
call this meeting to order, please.
You don't either. Oh,
Start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bill, I think we have a roll call, please.
Yes, we have. Mr. Bryler?
Here.
Mrs. Minnie? Here. Mr. Platzer?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Trimble here.
Thank you. Before we start this meeting, I'd like to take a minute just for a moment of silence for the victims of Newton, Connecticut, the little children and their families. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion to accept our consent agenda for $269,633.28, please.
I'll move to accept it.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions concerning? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Bryler?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trimble, yes.
Okay. Citizens wishing to address the Board of Trustees? Hearing none, I'll move on to the approval of our agenda. We have a motion to approve our agenda.
I move to approve the agenda. Support.
We have a motion and support to approve our agenda. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
We don't have on the agenda,
Yeah.
just on the consent agenda because we don't.
Oh, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Departmental reports, fire department. Mark?
I forgot to type up that, officers, maybe we modified our cost recovery ordinance, added those other fees in there for the boat and UTV. I forgot to type up because I'll do it next month's meeting. I'll get to you ahead of time. Take care of that.
I have one question for you. Yes. Were we paid for that? We were paid for that from the Coast Guard for that.
The check has not come yet from the Coast Guard.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression that we had received it.
No, we got a check reimbursement for the tornado siren, the $19,900.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what that was, but we have not received the.
Well, when you see Jeff, tell him that, because he
yeah.
asked me, and I
So maybe the county got the money.
no, I don't know. No,
Oh,
because he told me the money's coming, and I said,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute, I think we
Yeah.
already got the money.
No,
He said, no, I don't think you got the money. I said, well, let me check with Mark.
No, we did not.
Okay.
Worth Township, I know I happened to run into one of the board members. Their meeting is this Wednesday, and so they're gonna discuss fire contracts. And so I think we're in the process of closing it up. I think they've met with everybody now and got it figured out.
Well, we don't have a contract.
No, that's what they want. Now that they know what's going on, I think they've got enough details now they can
They're gonna drop
button things up, I think,
Send it.
finally, and get it figured out. I think what's gonna come down to is we do our own billing, which you guys know, the township shouldn't be paying residents' bills anyways. We're different, no different than a gas company, Edison company, a phone company.
Yeah, you're just doing
And
the
the township is paying, fronting the money to us, and then they're collecting from the people, and I don't think they can do that. I think their auditors
They
told
have a
them.
contract with us to pay us as soon as we get the bill.
I know, but it's illegal to do that. so
I don't believe you're right.
Okay.
Well, what about Croswell and Lexington? How do they work? They're getting paid. All of it.
They have found out that they can't use their money to pay the township's bills.
Then I think we should
And so it's
consider,
gonna
do we
change
want our citizens to pay taxes to support a Worth Township Fire Department?
Not sure.
Our taxpayers are paying Worth Township's fire bills, basically, because they're not paying for them.
Well, they're paying as they collect them now, and so.
Way
as
behind
they
the fact,
collect-
so we're financing. I think that's illegal too.
Well, that's why I think we're gonna change it so that we bill, just like everybody else bills individual, we'll bill the customer, instead of billing the township.
We're not gonna collect any faster than they do. I don't think so.
Well, I think if it's, I think if it's set up with the right things, you could bill out right away, all those kind of things, I think.
Well, I don't think, for one thing, don't think that's the problem. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul up there.
That's
I mean,
right.
it isn't like they haven't got the money to pay us, but instead of paying us, they're gonna pay Crowes, or they're gonna pay
And they pay them in full.
Lexington and let us sit here. which-
No, they're just paying a chunk of money every time they do it.
They've paid the contract as well, haven't
No.
they? They haven't paid that either?
Well, I think the
I
standby.
believe they
fees-
paid the contract amount, but the
Standby
contract
fees.
expired in.
Well, okay, I understand that, but they paid the contract amount. Well, I think the market, still gonna pay the contract
Right,
amount.
they're gonna, right.
$5,000.
Because what the
And
contract
then
is gonna.
they want us to collect from the homeowners, or the.
Yeah,
accident.
right.
So what the contract would be is to guarantee that their residents have, a fire department's gonna respond. I think what the contract is the way I'm understanding it. And so they're gonna pay standby fees so that they know they got people gonna come in to cover their people. And then we will bill their people individually. And for the calls that are, I guess, when there's no, something on the side of the road, when no one owns it and it's a county road property, I'm not sure how those are gonna work those out, but it's gonna work out. They're got enough details now, and I think they've talked to all the entities.
I think they figured out how to have us pay for a
Because
fire
everybody's
department.
different. What's that?
I think they figured out how to have us pay for a fire department.
So,
Well, they owe us $5,000 now.
well, that's what I'm saying, as they collect from their people, you know,
But that wasn't the way that was not the agreement.
I know they don't have any cash is their problem. They can't go out and borrow money, I don't think. So,
They haven't paid us in quite a while,
yes, they have. About 2 weeks ago, we got a check.
for 400 and something.
Yeah, so, I mean, they haven't paid it in full, but as they collect, they're sending it in.
Well, I understand that we are probably not gonna cut them off, especially being a good neighbor. But I think we need to really reconsider what's going on here. They're the tail wagging the dog. They are ordering that we pay, basically.
Well,
Our taxpayers
we can-
are paying.
We can resolve those things
Well, those
in the new
are all
contract
things.
when they, because they're gonna draw up the contract, they're gonna send it to us, and if we're not acceptable
I was just
to it.
hoping their meeting would be before ours, so I'd have more about
Right.
When is their meeting?
Wednesday.
Wednesday night.
This coming Wednesday? Maybe I'll go to it.
So, in case there's questions, or I could, if you want me to go with
You
you,
wanna
in
go?
case there's questions, we could at least be in the audience, so.
Yeah, why don't we go up and have an idea of what's going on?
I know they had a special meeting a couple weeks ago to kind of get it, because the problem is they're working with 4 different entities, or 3 different entities, and everybody, oh, it's nuts, all the things that are going on, so, but they're working on it. What else? I guess that's it. Mike, I have that other mutual aid agreement for you to sign, I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
The one you signed had
Yeah.
a scribble note on it, just so it has a clean copy.
Yeah, I guess that's
I'll
it.
be up to you tomorrow to get that signed for that chief's meeting tomorrow night. Thank you.
I guess while we're on the fire, I guess, are you planning on doing a burn?
Yes. Yep, on January 12th. We do a practice on January 5th. I've got all the stuff, it's the Campbell Farm at Babcock and Birch.
Did we discuss that
Yeah.
those had to be approved by the
We did
board?
that.
Didn't we?
And I never heard that. I got all the asbestos stuff done, I got it's like we did Siemens House, I got all liability forms ready to be signed by the firefighters as they show up. All those things.
What about the owner?
are-
He needs a liability form too.
I have that, Mr. Campbell.
Now,
We have an insurance company.
a question there is, are they going to issue us a certificate? The township, his insurance?
I just have a letter that says that there's no insurance on the building. I have
No,
that.
but there would be liability on the farm.
Okay,
During the day of the burn?
okay.
Well,
Well, what
Normally,
we have
yeah.
here, we have an agreement here that Grant has,
Okay.
for these training burns
Okay.
and stuff, and if you'd like to look at it, and then
Sure.
just go over it and see, and I think it may be something that if you want me to, I could make a copy for the board member.
Yeah, I just,
Let me make a
I
copy.
just used
for
my
everybody.
check sheet that the risk manager, when I met with him about 18 months ago, he said I had the liability form signed by each of the firefighters who showed up, as we did Siemens. Everybody showed up in the other department, they signed those before they could do any work there. I got the asbestos thing done, filed with the state. I got all the stuff, the risk management, from our insurance company, risk manager told me the checkoff sheet, so.
Right.
No, I understand that. I think what we're concerned about is who picks out when we're gonna do these burns, you know? We don't wanna be in the demolition business of, burning somebody's house down, and I know you guys need the practice burns and the burns, but, I think that's something that I think we need to look at and bring to the board,
Okay.
for the board at least to review it, give its blessing to it before we do
Okay.
it. And that's all, I think,
All right.
I've had a concern though, Mark, too, because I've had people question it. How do we choose who gets a free demo and who doesn't? Who has to pay for their demolition and who gets a free one?
They come to us and they have and it's a building that we could use for a training, we don't get them that often. I mean, we've had, 3 or 4 of them now in 6 or 8 years, I've been chief,
Well, I don't know, what's your thought on that? Isn't that, don't you think that, I think the board should have an input,
Yeah.
as to who we burn and when we burn.
Sure.
And the other question on that is, because I've had people telling me about it and asking me about it, is, are we sure that he's the sole owner of that? Because the last I knew, that property was in a trust. And that he has the authority to do that. He needs to show you, or the board, some legal papers that shows that he has the sole ownership of that property, and I'm not sure he does.
Okay.
He may have the power of attorney or whatever,
Okay.
but it was in a trust.
Yeah, I knew it was in a trust, because I tried to buy it once.
Was he the trustee?
He's
I imagine-
probably one of them.
I imagine he is, I'll find that out, if he's.
I don't know
If
the
he's the
answer
sole
to that.
signer of that.
We're talking about Marsh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
Well, I think this is something we don't have, but everybody review this in their own mind and go over it and, give us your pros and cons about it, and maybe we want to, tweak it here or tweak it there.
Okay.
Well,
Have we turned down anybody that wanted to burn on their property?
Yeah, we've had a couple that are just, too close,
Okay.
too many things that could go wrong, especially if it's not in the hydrant area, something close to something else, we've,
Edison wires,
power wires, we've turned down.
last one Grant did was, they put it back up.
Yeah, that one day,
Power
because the
wires.
wind switched on, but yeah, we've turned down, I know one on Norman I can think of, and, there was another one, somebody, up on.
Babcock Road,
Yeah.
that turned out as an asbestos.
Asbestos, and too much asbestos, so we turned it down.
Now, are you looking at all the buildings or just the house?
There's a barn there too, part of the barn, it's all.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, not everything, no, not everything, sir, no.
I would think you'd want it all though.
Well, he can do whatever he wants, but we're not maintaining that mode here to, it's just a good training. I know the county, special response SWAT team, whatever you call it, they're gonna use it for training.
I think they already have, haven't
Because
they?
they were gonna use it, and then we're gonna use it for smoke practice, to smoke it out with a smoke machine, just to do training on the 5th. So there's no live fire, nobody's inside with fire, all that kind of stuff. And then-
No, I think it's great for training, I think it is great, but I think we need to have a policy on what the board.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it to your attention, yeah. But, yeah, I just followed what the bush management guy said, I didn't, as long as I was following that, I didn't think it was a problem,
If
sorry.
there's any other issues, well, he needs to know now, because we plan on burning the 12th, we don't have a board meeting.
Yeah.
We didn't even know it though.
After
The
that.
board was
Well,
not.
you know,
Well, I think if you,
But in 6 years, have you known any of them that we've burned?
You're doing
We
it under this,
should, we should.
Oh,
you're doing it with the same paperwork you did Siemens.
same exact thing,
Yeah, but we should, Mark.
okay,
I think it's just because somebody says something to us and we don't know anything
And we're
about
going,
it.
that's
what
fine.
burn?
Doesn't make us look,
okay, no, I'm not trying to hide nothing, just thought if I.
no, we're not insinuating that you
Okay.
are, I just think that, we need to have things in place
Sure.
for the township.
Burning down our taxable buildings.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Real taxable.
If they put a new window in there, we could raise the taxes.
Windows are gone,
So if the property
Well, if
owners,
they clean it up, it'd probably be worth more, right?
I would think.
That's part of the job.
I would
are they
think.
charging anything? Do they have any?
I don't, no, they don't. Some of them made a donation, like the Siemens donated, I forget if it was $300 or $600, you know, for doing that, for theirs, and, you know, when I did my parents, I didn't pay anything, just, you know,
Have the firemen paid for this?
no.
Okay. You got anything else?
No,
So Wednesday, we're going to move up to the meeting. Is that at 7 o'clock?
I think so. I'll find out.
Okay. Building department, you got anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Water department, Dusty says we're all set for winter, everything's flushed, he double checked and everything else, so I think we're in pretty good shape from the water standpoint. Library. Jane.
We're happy to have the foundation filled in again. People wanted to know if we were burying people down there. No. Starting January 2nd, actually, the library here gets new hours, if you hadn't heard that. When the library system reorganized so that it's 5 smaller branches all have the same hours, and it's 5 larger branches all have the same hours. For Burtchville Township, that means more hours. For example, we will be open on Wednesday, which we never have been before. We will be open for a full 8 hours on Saturday. We've been open only for 5. So for us, it was a good thing. Being the smallest branch, we gained from that. So that starts January 2nd,
What are your hours gonna be on Wednesday?
9 to 5.
Okay.
So how many extra hours is that adding for 13, 14 hours a week?
Yes, it adds 13 hours for us. It changes our days a little bit. Monday, we have been 11 to 7, now we'll be 12 to 8. Then Tuesday will be 9 to 5, Wednesday will be 9 to 5, Thursday will be 12 to 8, Friday will be 9 to 5, Saturday will be 9 to 5. And that way, one of the reasons for doing that is then people don't have to remember, let me see, this one is closed on this day, that one opens at 11, this one opens at 12. All, as I say, all 5 of the smaller branches, the hours will be the same. So whether they're going to Kimball Township or to us or Memphis or K-Pac, we're all the same.
Okay.
That,
Sounds
it
good.
was intended to make life easier for people.
Of course. There's nothing else going on during Wednesdays, is there, during the day? But-
Yes, sometimes.
That will interfere with, or just
No,
something
because
to
the
keep in
library's-
mind in the scheduling?
No, because the library is the
Sure.
library.
Well, I know, but a lot of times they plan stuff and they're using
They
them.
check our calendar.
Yeah, we'll just
Make
make sure
sure.
Marilyn is aware that.
Yeah, but they
on
call
Wednesdays.
and let us know and
Yeah.
we're in book.
Marilyn hears from us real regularly. I wish she didn't hear from us quite so often.
And I don't think Matt got started today, I don't know.
No,
I haven't-
nothing inside.
None. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, unfinished business, the chapel restoration project, Al. What's the report on? Looks like it's coming along pretty good.
On the chap?
Oh, chapel. Cindy, I'm sorry.
We did something over there the other day, what were they doing?
Oh,
Put the new sign on.
Put the new
they
sign.
put there's a new sign, if you haven't noticed it. It's on the outside of the building, it's green, it looks really nice. They also had 2 people from
Risa?
RISA, and they came in, I wasn't there, Gary was, you were, weren't you, Caroline? You didn't go. Pat, Debbie Warden, and he was interviewing, and Jim was there, interviewing, videoing on the history of the chapel, and I'm not sure that they're not coming back another time, but they've been reading about it in the paper and wanted to know what, came to find out what was going on there. The concert was a big success. on December 4th.
Mhm.
And I think Pat said we raised $1,300.
More like 19.
Oh, 19? More came in then.
It's gone up, yes.
Okay, well, last I heard it was 13. It was very well attended and it was a great concert.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now we'll get to the old township hall.
Yep, the foundation is complete. Sidewalks back in front. And,
Looks nice over there.
yep, it's coming, so.
What about the,
And that's supposed to be starting sometime this weekend.
I thought it was starting today, but that didn't happen. What about the drain? We were up to our ankles in water Saturday for the cookie sale. What about it? When are we doing that?
Well, depends on how the weather stays for everything.
I thought you were thinking of doing that when you were doing the front. the
Well,
cement.
I did run the gutter drains over through the front, but that other thing's the asphalt actually got to be taken over there in front of the sidewalk.
Right,
And then if we take it out, we gotta get back in.
right. I was hoping you guys were gonna do that.
Well, I will look at it a little closer.
It's not only tough during the wet weather, it's really tough during the icy weather too, because it freezes over.
I haven't been by there today, but whatever day I was there last week, there was still an opening back towards the market. Is that,
Yes, that's all done, so.
it's all closed up now?
Yep.
I knew it was all filled in and I thought, what's this opening?
I don't know, Mark, did you get the drains done?
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was a way to get in and,
Yeah, you blocked the rest of that Friday.
I mean, I didn't figure we were leaving it open, but
No.
What's our thought on, are we gonna try to do anything with that north before spring, or are we just gonna leave it like it is?
Well, I was gonna level it off over here more.
Put some stone
I'm
on
gonna talk to you
it.
about it. We can go there and.
I'm thinking maybe a couple of stone or something on there for, at least for the winter. Or is that,
It's possible.
You know.
Yeah.
because we're gonna asphalt it anyway, right, and eventually, or, you know?
Whether we asphalt or
Pavement.
concrete, I don't know. Either one.
Yeah, just to clean up the mud, you know, keep the mud and stuff out of there for the winter. So,
yes,
well, we
because
can
the
talk about
sidewalk's
that.
been tracked a mess
We can talk about that.
when it's wet.
Okay. And the inside's gonna get done. Matt's supposed to be in there this week sometime
We're
doing
supposed
it.
to get started.
And I guess he's gonna do the cupboards, and then he's gonna try to get it sided too.
The closets, and the, I don't know when he's gonna start the cupboards, the closets primarily, gotta get those tables put away, and the siding, and the windows.
Okay. Sounds good. New business. Appointments to the planning commission. I want to bring the name of Anthony Montgomery to the board for approval as the new planner. He would be replacing Loretta. He's a young man, about 39 years old. He works as I think his description is well, anyway, he mixes bags for operations and stuff at Port Huron Hospital, but I think he's a pharmacist assistant, I think that's his title down there at Port Huron Hospital. Very nice young man, and he's very interested. He's been bugging me for 3 or 4 years, is there anything that we can do? And I said, well, you know, not everybody wants to serve on these commissions, and I asked him if he would be interested in serving. He said he would be, so he would be replacing Loretta. And then I'd like to replace or reappoint Al Brylick to the board as the board member for our planning commission to represent us. So if somebody would like to.
Was that a motion?
Well, these are just recommendations. If somebody would like to make a recommendation to, or a motion to accept or not accept.
I'll move we accept Anthony Montgomery and reappoint Al Bartlett.
I'll second it. Do we need a roll call vote or?
Yes.
Okay, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Planter?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Okay, motion carries. We have our planning commission filled. And then, moving on to our board of review, I would like to appoint Ruth Ann Clemming to our board of review, and she would be replacing Jackie Armstrong on the board of review.
I'll either support that or make the motion, whichever you, whatever you need. I'll make the motion, yep.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second to that motion. Do we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Browett?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Planter?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Okay. The assessor's contract. If you look at it, you can scrap the edited edition that we had, because in our personnel file, we don't pay vacations to part-time contractor, a contractor or part-time employee, so. So I guess, do we want to table this until we get back with?
I don't know why, this is what we...
We could approve the contract
Yeah, right.
based on last year, I mean, we have both of them here, but this
Right.
was the edited one, this was the other one, presuming that she
Well,
wasn't
the edited
gonna
one
ask
was the
for
one
it.
that Shelley requested.
Yeah,
This is what we-
she requested the one, the edited one, and it was 2 days off. So, it has vacation time. But according to our personnel book,
We could change the contract to, that the total number of hours, but in 50 weeks or 51 weeks or something.
Well, in order to be full-time, we had changed the personnel manual to 32 hours when we went to 32 hours here in the office.
Well, I don't mean for her to be full-time. No,
Well, we don't pay-
I'm just saying, if she what I think is, the way the contract is, she has to be here every week, 52 weeks out of the year. And so she can't go to Florida, or,
She can substitute.
Is that spelled out in there? I didn't.
yeah, it is in the.
I think so, Al, because
not
she's,
in-
Okay, there's nothing.
Not in the edited.
she's done it before.
What she does is she comes to me and then I can approve it. She wants 2 weeks
So
off.
it's like Monday.
And then she,
Tuesday,
instead of
Friday.
coming in,
Yeah.
she'll come in Thursday and a Friday or something else, through the year.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all.
Here's number 17 on page, there's no page numbers. Assessor shall get approval from township supervisor prior to any time off and make up that time upon return to work.
And then that's where she edited it to get, 2 weeks off. My thought on it, she asked me about it, and I thought she was very, probably, if it was up to me, I would have given her the time off because she's very good at what she does. But it's not in our policy, so we're gonna have to.
Well, and we haven't done it before, we didn't do it for Kathy, she worked very hard too. She did not get any benefits until she became a full-time employee. You're kind of opening up a can of worms by doing that, I think, or you have to change the manual.
The problem is that Shelley's been here for 5 years, and she's never ever asked for a raise, she's never, she's, I think personally, for myself, it was a little different situation than with Kathy, but if we can't do it, we can't do it, that's fine, So, moving on. Oh, wait a minute. Why don't we, let's approve her contract, whether she accepts it or not. We could approve her contract and it'll save us having to come back and have a special meeting.
Right.
To do it. The
I move to
original.
approve her original contract.
I'll second it.
Mhm,
We have a roll call vote?
mhm. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Planter?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Pest control contract for 2013.
It's the same,
It's the same contract.
and we did bid it out last year, it's for, fairly minimal amount. And they came in quite a bit less, so we didn't bid it out this year. I don't think that was necessary.
It seems to be working.
It does, yes it does, we don't seem to have too many
Not a lot of bugs.
creepy
We're not overrun with
crawlies.
bugs anyway, so
Not too many creepy crawlies around
it
here.
helps.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contract for ABC.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Platzer,
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie,
Yes.
Mr. Brylant,
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Motion carries. Okay. Moving on, I guess we have everything. I really don't, well, I guess I do. If everybody notices our beautiful building, it's been all repainted and cleaned up, and the painters did an excellent job. We're very happy with the job they did. We had a little snafu on the color the first time, but the second coat, it was a little darker in the hallway there. It looked like midnight in there, but we lightened it all up, and so everything has been, on this side of the building, has been repainted, so we're very happy with it, and we think they did a great job, so. That's about all I have, and I guess to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, So, Caroline?
I don't, Mike. We pretty well covered anything I had already in the meeting. No, nothing new.
If I could steal your thunder just for 1 minute,
You may.
there is something else that I think we need to discuss anyway, is our Parks and Recreation budget, we have another, I don't know, guess how many trees we have up in the park, at least 13 or 14.
Yeah, I counted 11, I think, the last time, but I may have missed. I was gonna mark them, but I didn't.
Well, what I'm considering is, we have money in this year's budget yet. I think it was just a little over $6,000 left, $6,400 left in our budget, that maybe we should get a couple estimates on getting those taken out of there.
Yep.
Why we've got the money, because we may not always have the money to do that. And it's in this year's budget yet, so if we could get a couple estimates and prices on getting those removed, the stumps ground out.
I agree.
Okay.
As long as we specify it needs to be put back in better shape than it was last
Yeah,
time.
they're gonna be left like in the shape that it was the last time. Leave it as they found it, other than the trees being gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Cindy?
No, Jody.
Forgot Jody.
Joy?
I don't have anything in it.
You don't have anything in there?
No.
Okay. Al? Cindy?
No, nothing for me.
Al?
Two things. Did we find out why they have a boom axe there?
I called, he was gonna call me back the next day. This was at least 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. I've not heard a word. I'm surprised. He's always good about calling me back, so.
Jack?
Jack.
It was out here.
Yeah, I know it's out here, and I don't know why.
Is that because they're working over here on 25?
Yeah, they used to over there.
Is that who that is doing that?
That's the
Yeah.
county, but they must have been hired by MDOT, right, Al?
Yeah.
Is it just because the branches are overhanging, or?
Well,
I mean, there's no
It
lines.
seems like every time we got a windstorm, we were up there
Oh.
clearing the road with trees, they finally, I
Who,
mentioned something to Jack a while back about it.
Well, they sure have been at it. They were at it again
I think-
today.
Have you talked to him? Have you talked to Jack?
I haven't talked to Jack. in
I called him right
a couple
after you
months.
asked.
I talked to him
I'll call
back
him.
in the
I'll call
summer,
him tomorrow.
called up there, I said, you guys getting.
I called the day after our
already
meeting.
been there, like in October when they were trying to.
What did they
What
boom
he
axe?
said
They
to
boom
me
axed in
was-
August, didn't they?
No, they did not.
December is when they're normally doing.
They didn't do any boom axing, he said, and they were gonna get back with me on why and what they were gonna do.
So I'll call him.
As long as you don't get a lot of snow, they can still do it.
I'll call him, check
Right.
it out. Snow's supposed to be coming on Friday.
Not a lot.
I don't think we're gonna
Just to do something.
go skiing on it.
We'll be working this weekend.
Right.
That's it for now. I did something else, I can't remember what it was.
Jeez.
That's a little part.
It gets worse. As you get older, it gets worse.
Well, I guess, we could, I guess if I could take just a minute to go over, we're talking about our burning ordinance. And this is conversations, this is a correspondence. It says, "Hello, Tim, I haven't run into you recently to ask you how the department or the prosecutor's office will handle the new state restriction Public Act 102 of 2012. It took effect October 16th. Let me know when you get a chance. Thanks." So this is, in checking into the matter, Assistant Prosecutor Steve Gillette indicated that their office would not be involved unless the civil infraction was set to appear in front of a judge. The first civil infraction is a warning from the magistrate or judge. Second is $75, third is $150, fourth is $300. We will enforce the new trash burning restriction if requested by the fire department or township, the same way we investigate any other offense. If you have any other questions or concerns, give me a call. And that was from the sheriff.
So are these saying they will enforce the state, but that we have to pass an ordinance?
That's what they just said. Well, enforce it if we go.
Right there, it says.
That's what I
for your
thought I heard.
information,
That's what I thought I heard.
We still need to have an ordinance.
Oh,
We still need to have an ordinance.
okay, we gotta get the planning commission going.
Planning Commission talked about that, and with this new law, you don't need an ordinance.
Well, that's what I thought too, but that's
Yeah,
not what
the
they're
sheriff's
telling us.
department goes out and enforces the speed limit laws and every other law that the state has. Why can't they enforce the state burning
That's
law
right.
that we run under?
That's right. Which brings me to, I did have something I wanted to ask Al.
I guess the question, the importance of the sentence, I think, is we will investigate the same as other offenses. So I guess, meaning, I don't know exactly what that means. How they go about it.
It doesn't sound like they're gonna jump right on and get out there and investigate.
Well, they prioritize anyway,
Oh, yeah.
They have their priorities, and
But when our department's called out in the middle of the night for the same old garbage burn that's smoking up the neighbor's house in the summer, and did they quit calling them because they weren't getting a response, or, meaning the fire department?
I
That's
think
just,
that's for a discussion at another time. I wish I'd have brought this up when Mark was here, because,
yes. Okay, one other thing is the, I don't know if you want to bring it up tonight or not, is the codified book. And it has.
Well, listen, I'm so confused about the codified book
We've
that,
had four-
we've had 4 opinions, and every one of them have been different, so.
2 from the MTA's office. of
Okay,
each other.
what, and I think in essence, what we're gonna do is what our attorney tells us to do. I think, the MTA, I called one person in the MTA, he called the legal department said, the thing that we have to do is we have to have an amendment for only the changes that were made in the verbiage, if there were no ordinance changes, but we do have to have a public hearing on just, and then make an amendment to the ordinance book to the effect of what was changed in the ordinance book. If nothing else has changed, you don't have to do anything. So we make an amendment, we approve the amendment to the book, and then the book is legal. Right now, we're still using the old book, but Carol Ann called.
Yeah, I didn't know
Called
that
the
get
MTA. She called. I called the MTA on Thursday and got that opinion. Now, go ahead and tell.
I called on Thursday too. Neither one of us knew the other one was calling. He got Jim, I got Cindy. Cindy said, I have an opinion from the legal department, and I will fax that over to you. I haven't received it yet. And you do not have to adopt and publish and all the other good stuff on a codification. So did our planner tell me that. But Doug and Jim at MTA said otherwise, so I think we gotta go back to Doug, and I emailed him and said, okay, give me the steps, let's see what we gotta get done here, and,
Well, my feeling is Doug is the one that's going to have to defend it, so we better do what, his advice, so we're waiting.
There's
He
no
never
mutual-
got back with you today, did he?
no,
He's probably busy.
it's a busy time.
But anyway, if that's something that we're going to keep pursuing to see what happens. You know, I called Paul, who's our planning board chairman. And I told him what Jim had told me, you know, from the MPA, and that, you know, that we were gonna send the book over to you guys to review, you know, and told him what had to be done in it. And I called Bob Bailey and let him know, because he wanted to know what was going on. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait till we get an opinion, you know, till Doug gives us his final blessing or word on it, so. Okay. Extended public comment. Do we have any?
Speaking about the codified book, I think that there's supposed to be a CD for sale on that, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so does this have anything, it won't change at all in what you're doing?
I don't
So
believe
if I buy
so.
one?
Well, we're not gonna sell it until we get it.
You're not gonna sell it?
We're not gonna release it until we get it, until it's approved by the board.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they'll be available as soon as it's approved by the board, but there's no sense in handing it out because we,
Okay.
you know, we're in limbo of really exactly what's gonna happen with it anyway, so.
Okay. The logs that the trees that they're tearing down on 25, the other night, there was a pickup truck out there, wrong side of the road, throwing logs in their truck, raining out. So I don't know if the logs are, I think they should be picked up as things go along.
That's a sheriff's department, so.
That'd be a county, that'd be the county.
Or the county
you know,
road,
county-
or MDOT.
Well, MDOT, really, they're
The
doing
sheriff's
it
department was up there last week, because there were some fights going on up there.
over the
Yeah,
west.
over the
side.
logs.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
guess.
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was just
Last Wednesday, it was.
Oh.
rainy,
They
dangerous.
moved them
Whose
today?
property is it?
The states.
It's a
It's a
state's
state, right?
property,
State, right?
yeah.
So who is the ownership of the wood, the state?
All right,
Well,
they're
that's
just
us.
Or whoever gets there
That's
first?
whoever gets there first.
Yeah.
but I-
It used to be that when they cut wood on a right of way.
That same truck's been there every night, every time they're done, that truck's
They
there.
Oh,
would
is
give
The
it to
adjoining
them.
property owner. is
Great.
actually-
Should be, but
pickup
we were
trucks.
never
I
notified.
thought this one was a dark blue.
Ever.
one.
Wow,
But
I always
whatever.
get confused anyway.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of, so they don't pick up the logs as they go along?
I
No?
don't think so.
They
They
haven't
chew up
had
what
to.
they can chew up, and they leave the rest of it
They haven't
later.
had to.
Just leave it.
Okay. Any other question that I have, and I know this has only been done 6 times, but on the burns, what happens to the foundations? Because on 25, there was a burn down, there's a foundation there, it really falls into a blight situation. So to do a burn and leave a blight situation behind, I don't think is I mean, that foundation that's up by Memoir is dangerous, period. It should be removed. There's no money to remove it, I understand that.
He
but-
removed everything except that front porch, I believe. I think that the only thing that's left there is that front porch down there, if I'm not mistaken. I think he removed the rest of it. I'm not 100% sure.
This is up near, further up north.
You're talking about one on Memoir?
Yeah, well, there was one on the corner of 25 and something in that area.
Yeah, Memoir and Lakeshore.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the one that was real close that we burned.
Okay. So the entire cement foundation is still there though?
Foundation's gone.
No, I don't.
That's up to the property owner.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Well, I understand it would be up to the property owner, but the thing is that it's a blight situation.
and I wish Mark would know that either now, because I believe that Mark came in as a fire chief and applied for a demolition permit on Siemens. He may have been doing that on all of them, I'm not positive. Because I had said something that we shouldn't be doing that the property owner should get the demolition permit. Then they'd be responsible to finish cleaning it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of foundations that are throughout the township that are really dangerous situations, number one.
That's the one that we had all the problems with and went to court.
Is he
Yeah,
owns
I can't think
the
of his name.
laundromat there in the
Yeah.
mall? Is that the guy?
No.
Yes, it is.
He owns laundromat?
By Kroger, behind Kroger.
Yeah, behind Kroger's store there.
And the one on Waters.
Yeah, I can't, it starts with an H, but I can't remember. I don't know,
I can't remember his name.
I mean, when my son was out on a burn, it was really great, and then when the burn was done, the property owners went in, they did something with the foundation that's no longer there, it's safe, the whole thing, but when
well,
I just hate to see that, if you're gonna do a burn, great, because they need to be done, but somebody should be responsible for not leaving that in a blight situation
Can't we still
afterwards.
do that for this one?
Well, yeah, Mark should be told that Campbell needs to come in and get a demolition permit.
Well, there's quite a bit of stuff he needs to do on that one.
Okay.
Mhm.
The last thing is,
A month from now, it'll be gone.
Okay, I'm gonna see him anyway, so on Monday, so.
and the last thing is Len's
Wednesday.
pulls on his 6th car. No permit to sell cars.
Who's that?
Len's pool.
That's the first one I've seen.
Is it?
I've never seen a car out there for
Numbers
sale.
on
There's
it.
one there
I
now.
guess maybe I don't drive by there often.
Yeah,
He said he
I'll-
had sold a lot of them.
I'll take bin numbers on them from now on, because there's
Is it
been
his
there
personal
one
car,
every
you know?
month.
Is it his personal car?
Don't have any idea, but even on a personal car, in the ordinance, I believe 2 or 3 maximum can be done a year. He's on his 6th one this year.
Well, you know,
So I brought it up every month for the past 4 months. And I know I see writing, but I don't see any action, and when somebody wants to go into a used car business, you know, well, I'd like to
He's
keep
not come back from us, you
25.
know. If
Pardon?
you're referring to Sutherland, he has not come back.
Well, I wouldn't come back either, the way that he was treated here. He was told that,
well,
that
let me
the
say this about
zoning
the way he was
commissioner
treated. The
was
first time was a
told-
mistake. The
Okay.
first time was a mistake, and I rectified it, I apologized at an open board meeting to the gentleman, and we took care of it the very next day. And I said, whatever you're ready to do, or whatever you need to do, and you wanna go ahead and get this car lot done, we'll fall on our backs to get whatever you want done. And we have not heard from him since.
Well, what was done the next day was that he received a letter regarding a berm that was now required to protect the back of the property, which backs up against a field that has 2 horses in it, and a berm along the right-hand side of the property, which is the Jetto side, of 6'2". So that was what the next step was that when the zoning administrator went out there, he went out with not a helpful situation, but he went out with yet another requirement of a 6-foot berm on two parts of that property.
Were you aware of that? I was not.
That is
I
what
have not seen
happened.
any
I would
paperwork.
not come back here either.
Tomorrow morning, I'll pull the property file and I'll look in there and see if
Okay.
that is the case.
And the only other thing, Mike, is that the 5 of you, I mean, come on, it's like 2 years, why doesn't somebody go out there? I mean, it's our township, why
Well,
doesn't a
well,
board member
where?
go out there
Well,
to talk to him?
I've been here. I've been here.
He's been
I talked to
here.
him. I was on my knees, I said, whatever we can do to help you, we'll be glad to help you. I have not heard one more thing since
where
the
is he?
last
Why isn't
meeting.
he here?
I think
Like I said, the last time he came here,
And
he was...
he has some
was-
piles of concrete laying out in
The
front
last
too.
correspondence
Yeah, I know.
we've had with
So-
Mr. Sutherland.
No.
No, nobody
I
has said
agree,
anything
I
to him
agree.
about his pile of concrete, now have they?
No, I agree
I was
that
bored.
the yard should be cleaned up.
No,
I
we
agree
talked
with
about
that, but
Whatever.
I think we need to stay on one subject here. We're on Mr. Sutherland right now.
And that's
And I'm
what-
telling you
he was
that,
talking about that.
you know, I was putting her on my knees, apologizing to Mr. Sutherland, and that is the last correspondence that I have had with him, and I said, if you need anything, if there's anything that I can do for you, you call me and let me know. If your things aren't going right, give me a call, so I know what's going on. That was part of the problem before. I never knew what was going on. I had to guess what was going on.
Yeah, okay,
We now have a new zoning administrator, hopefully that's been,
yeah,
And I just want to point out to you, Mike, that I guess the sad part of it is, it always seems like for the example with Bill. We heard that Bill said that you said that this needed to be done, and I don't really think you said that. Do you see where, you know?
I don't know, what are we
there's
talking
always
about now? What are
putting up that berm around his property, and Bill's like, well, Mr. Apple said to go out there and tell him to
we?
do it.
Absolutely,
Well,
absolutely
exactly, and
not.
it's so, I'm
Absolutely
glad,
not.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's
And you
what the
can ask
whole
anybody in
problem
these
was.
departments, I never get involved.
No,
in
and
their-
I'm not
their
blaming you, but
departments.
that's what the whole problem's
Now,
been.
when I get involved in it, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
what I think's right for the citizens.
and I never
That's
heard
the
you
only
say-
involvement that
and
I
I
have in
just-
this township.
I'm not complaining about you, I just want you to know that's
Well-
what goes on, and it's sad.
Well, it is
It's
sad.
sad.
it's not.
It's sad, because we've got a great little township here. and,
Yeah.
You know, and for that stuff to start, that's absolutely not
Berm, I never heard of a berm until
Exactly.
Robert just mentioned, you know, that he had to put, what, 2 berms or something? I
Yeah.
never heard of a berm, and it never came from me.
I didn't think it
You
did,
know.
but,
Well, no, I know that didn't come from you. I know that didn't come from you. Not blaming anybody on
no,
the
we're not
board, I'm
blaming you,
just
but
saying.
that's the kind of stuff
You know,
that,
you
Well,
said
that's all
do
you're
something
saying.
about
Well,
it,
and
and
that's
that
the
was
problem.
what was
If people,
done.
you know, when people hear that stuff, I wish they would just pick up the phone and call 385-577 and give me a call and ask me, because I'll tell you the
Yeah.
truth. You know, but, you know, and when I'm wrong, I apologize and I
Yeah.
make it right. I don't,
yeah, and
I
I know.
don't do that. I don't operate that
And
way,
that's,
so.
that was the whole sad thing about that whole situation.
Well, hopefully, you know, it's gonna take a month or 2, you know, or maybe 3 months to get things squared away here, but we're gonna try and get
Yeah.
things squared away, you know. So just be patient with us and give us some time, and I think you'll see a big improvement in what's going on, hopefully.
The zoning book does require a berm between residential property and commercial property.
I understand that, but that isn't residential property.
It's not.
No,
It's a farm. It's got 2
It's
horses
probably
in
not a
it.
farm.
no, but
I mean, it's agricultural.
I understand that, but where Terry Carter lives is right directly to the south.
Of his
Okay.
property,
Yeah.
okay, but there's a row of trees there.
And
And the berm-
that may suffice.
And the berm has to do with, the reason that there's a berm, if you read the thing, is because of headlights. And he's not gonna be open during headlight time.
Well,
So, you know, he's closed by 5 o'clock every day, and he's not gonna have any lights out there at night, you know, so.
but
Anyway.
he has not been back.
No, I understand,
And I believe last week he had 3 vehicles for sale up there anyhow, so,
yeah.
I mean, he's
Well,
not.
again, like I said,
Well,
if
to
you see
his
it,
credit, to
if
his
you see it
credit.
at Len's.
We were driving home from church yesterday, and my wife said, boy, they really cleaned that place up. I said, yeah, they have done a nice job, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, and then we reiterated, well, he was gonna come and sell cars out of there, but I said, we haven't heard from him since June, or whenever it was. You know, it was back in the spring of the year, or early summer, you know, when we heard from him, so that was the last. Well, I think enough. Is there anything else?
No, done.
Would somebody like to make a
I will
motion
make
to
a
adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, happy
We'll
New
see you
Year.
in January.